Hey, today we're here in Barcelona together with Nikias from Apple World, and we didn't turn our phones off, but that doesn't matter because
let me turn it off right now. Actually,
right now, I'm really interested. Like, were you an Apple fan from since always, or how did that become a thing?
I've always been an Apple fanboy. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you can call myself an Apple fanboy, even though, check what I'm rocking, Google Pixel 3. My mom actually bought an iMac when I was really little, so I just started using it, and then after that, it was an iPod Touch, and then I haven't really used any Android devices ever, except this year, and this year I'm loving Android, but I still think iOS is better. I'm sorry if I offend you, but that's the way it goes.
No. So what was your first phone?
My first phone was actually an iPhone 4. So apart from this year, I never owned anything that was not from Apple. So this year is like a big deal for me. I'm opening my mind.
And you turned your phone off, you say, huh?
Well, how the heck do you... This is on... I'm sorry, okay? I'm new to this. This is good, right?
No, this is vibration. This is now silent.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
everybody. Okay.
Completely without everything.
Sorry, okay. Sorry.
Who do you think is a typical iOS customer? Why would somebody choose Apple? What's the biggest benefit for the consumer?
Well, I guess it's simplicity. I guess it's the way I call it. Me personally, I don't consider myself stupid in tech, and I don't feel like Android is easy to use. You pick this phone and you know how to use it right away. With an iPhone, you give an iPhone to your grandma, for example. I don't really know your grandma, but your grandma would be able to pick an iPhone up and know how to use it straight up. Android, that doesn't happen. At least that's for me, okay? I'm sorry if I'm offending you, but that's the way it goes.
My grandma has a Samsung, just saying.
Your grandma's awesome, man. She's a different type of girl. But apart from that, who is Apple for? It's just the simplicity, and then once you actually get in the ecosystem, you won't want to get out.
Yeah,
you should try it.
That's the thing. I actually tried it.
The ecosystem, or you tried the iPhone?
I tried the ecosystem. I was forced to use a Mac for job purposes. Nice. I had an iPhone, so I was completely in the ecosystem. I had an iPad, all three nicely together. I was wanting to get a watch, but my biggest pain was file transfers. I couldn't get over the file transfers. AirDrop, yeah, but I had another computer that was Windows.
Exactly.
And
get Windows out and join the Apple. You can't join the Apple ecosystem
I have friends,
halfway.
I have friends with Androids.
What type of friends are those, first of all? I mean, you need friends that use iPhones.
Simplicity of use, and once you're in, you never get out.
Yeah, and I actually, for example, the Google Pixel 3, I love it, but it's just there's so much that I'm missing from the ecosystem. I'm not saying maybe the Pixel is bad. I'm loving it, as I said, but there's certain things I'm still missing AirDrop and iMessage. Does that mean that the Pixel 3 is a bad phone? No, it's just I miss the ecosystem. So I wish I could go full on Android forever, but I would have to give up that ecosystem and maybe join Google's ecosystem. The Google's ecosystem isn't as good.
You think it isn't as good, or it's meant for different type of consumers, or you think that the onboarding process would just take too long for you?
Well, I mean, if we talk about an ecosystem, for example, for me, it's iMessage, it's HomeKit that I can control my fish tank, as you just saw. Tell Siri to turn on the fish bubbles.
Really?
Yeah, it actually does it. Look, ready?
Hey Siri, turn on the fish bubbles.
Ready?
Got it.
Oh! What do you think of that? Apple ecosystem, baby.
That's crazy. I admit, that's really good.
It's just easier. I don't really find a need to switch, but I think it's fun to try out new things.
That's interesting because, for example, I am completely immersed in the Google system.
You are? 100%?
Completely. And even when I switched to iPhone, I was still using the Google system because I have Gmail, all my main emails are in Gmail, all my other emails are connected into the Gmail inbox, so I have everything from there.
And I have to say, the Google ecosystem, if we talk about Google Drive, Google Docs, my friends in uni, everybody uses it, and I actually use it too, and I have to say it's not bad.
I mean, it's document collaboration. For that, it's perfect, you know. And
Apple actually has one too, but nobody uses it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we have Pages,
yeah,
but nobody... I told my friends, why, for projects, for example, for school, I'm like, why don't we use Pages? And they're like, no, it's just easier to do in Google Docs.
Do majority of your people you collaborate with use Mac systems?
In school?
Yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason, they want to use Google Docs. I don't even want to argue. It's fine.
I guess it's just the power of habit.
They're used to it, so yeah. And I guess that brings me like to the Apple ecosystem. I'm just used to it.
One thing that a lot of consumers are really like touchy about it is the price of Apple products. How would you say, what are you paying in that price? Is it just a brand?
It's the ecosystem. But is Apple the only one that's expensive? Like, nobody's talking about Samsung, for example. They just released the Samsung Galaxy Fold, which you can go ahead and say the price in front of the camera if you're willing to say that. So Apple's not the only one that's charging a lot for their products. I think Apple right now wants to be more of a premium brand, which is interesting. Like if you see, they aren't really making affordable phones. Samsung, for example, they make expensive phones, they make affordable phones, and they make really affordable phones. Apple's not about making affordable. Apple's always meant to be the best of the best. So they don't want to make an affordable phone. And even when they try, for example, the iPhone XR, it's their affordable phone, but it's still expensive. So it's just different, you know?
I mean, you have to cut corners, I guess, with the... If you want to make the easiest phone to use, you have to cut out a lot of the customizability, a lot of the specific things for specific users that might be important, but are really not for everybody there.
Yeah, and there's sometimes that I don't really agree with the prices. For example, the HomePod. And by the way, the HomePod has been criticized so much. And we can talk about the HomePod later if you want. Because it's such a closed product. And we can talk about closed Apple if you want later. And like sometimes Apple's too much. Like Apple's a little bit too expensive with the HomePod, for example. I get that the HomePod sounds amazing, and she just tried out the HomePod by the way, and she loved it. Do you like the HomePod?
Yeah.
You want to admit it to the camera?
Yeah, I admit it. It's not for the size of it. It sounds really good.
Yeah. So if the HomePod sounded bad, I would say, come on, Apple. Like it's it's too much money. But since everything that Apple makes is so good, and you can call me an Apple fanboy, but it's true. Like everything that Apple makes usually is really good.
Your channel is called Apple World.
Exactly. So if Apple did okay products, I would disagree. But since they're so good, since everything about Apple products are usually good, sometimes they mess up. I'm not saying that.
Okay, so you started with the HomePod. The HomePod is including what? Like what can you connect into the ecosystem?
Yeah, so the HomePod,
how does it work?
The HomePod has been criticized by a lot because first of all, it's a Wi-Fi speaker. So it's not Bluetooth. There's no Bluetooth. You can't tell Siri to play music from Spotify. So you need to have Apple Music.
But that's a Siri problem or a HomePod problem?
That's Apple's problem that they didn't want to put, Spotify. You can play Spotify if you with AirPlay if you go onto your music and like a speaker. So like a lot of people say that the HomePod is simply not worth it. But if you're in the Apple ecosystem, the HomePod is perfect, right? Which is a bad thing because Apple's trapping you even more, So it's a hard decision to recommend the HomePod to somebody because if somebody tells me, hey, I have Spotify, do you recommend me the HomePod? I would have to say no. But that doesn't mean that the HomePod is, a bad product. It's just Apple's trying to lock you more in the ecosystem.
Okay, so like in your daily life, what's the biggest thing that has Apple changed for you? Why do you like it so much?
Well, I mean, if you ask me, like, let's talk about the product, for example. Every single product serves, a need for me in my daily life. Starting with the Apple Watch, it gets all my notifications. Do you have a smartwatch or no?
I used to have.
Yeah? Do you like smartwatches?
I used to love them.
You don't like anymore? You need to try out the Apple Watch.
They killed my favorite smartwatch, the Fitbit, and since then
I wasn't... The Fitbit Versus out.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't able to commit my money to anything else since then.
But anyways, my Apple Watch gets all my notifications, which I absolutely love. I've got my music player. I love my Apple Watch. I mean, my channel, did you know that my channel before Apple World was actually Apple Watch World?
Really?
And I only did Apple Watch content. So
a lot of Apple Watch content on that channel if you wanna check it out.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and I love how it tells me to be more active. So no, but I mean, as a YouTuber, you probably sit in your butt in your chair all day, right? I do that all day. So I love how it tells me to stand. I love how it tells me to run once in a while. So I love that about my Apple Watch. How I can actually, reply to calls and, text messages. I love my iPhone because, it's an iPhone and it's got iMessage, AirDrop, everything that we talked about. My MacBook, it's great for school. It's got all the programs that I need for, graphic design. Then my iPad, I use my iPad 2 to sketch, to note take, to actually watch media. Then I've got my iMac, which is solely for editing hardcore video when I'm home. My HomePod to put music, which connects to all my, smart lights, my couch lights, all my lights. So everything is a beautiful ecosystem. It all works so well together. I just don't want to give it up.
Is there an Apple product in the ecosystem that you do not own?
No. Not really. No. I have the Apple TV. I forgot about the Apple TV, and I love my Apple TV too. So, I guess some iPods I don't have. I don't have the iPod Touch. It's like I have to, because I mean my channel is all about Apple. So if I don't review the last one, like for you, if you don't review the Google Pixel, it's okay because there's so many phones you can review. But for me, there's like 6 products a year, so it's like I have to get them. So and I love it because like before I started my channel, I loved having the latest iPhone, but I simply couldn't afford it. But now it's like I need to buy it, so it's like okay,
it's a business expense, you know. Exactly. It's a business expense.
No, but it actually is. Like my channel is actually really expensive, and I have a lot of expenses, which are that. Our Apple products, so
just getting the product.
Yeah.
It sounds like Apple is not really keen on sending review samples and demos.
They hate us. I don't know why. Like they hate YouTubers, and it's actually scary because Apple doesn't actually like channels that have Apple in their name. So that's why I'm also thinking on rebranding, coming soon. Stay tuned. I'm literally helping Apple, and they hate me for some reason because I have Apple in their name. So it's like whatever.
Well, that's a good relationship.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your incredible insights. You will find links to his channel in the description box and also up here somewhere. So we'll just wait for you while you click on it.
Go click on the video. I'll see you. Just come on.
Yeah, because there's another video on his channel, you know?
I mean, it's this one, so why wouldn't they click on it?
Yeah. Go. We're waiting. We have no idea when the 20 seconds will pass, but, you know.
I'm gonna fall asleep. Good night. Just go click.
Bye.